constituency of Honorable Rudolph Amoako yesterday, as he just confirmed to me in a phone conversation. And I can hear you. Good afternoon.
Also at the same place, recognition of dignitaries. My understanding of the word dignity of the Ga Manche. Then the next line, the word minister, I is missing after N. If the clerks at table could take note and correct accordingly. Thank you.
Thank you, Honourable Member. You are right. Table office. Take note. Page 13, page 15, and page 6.
The 92 of the rules of this House. To proceed to say that this morning we're informed that one of us has been summoned to the Parliament above. It's quite regrettable for me to be the carrier of this message to this august House. Speaker, the member was seen over the weekend, hale and hearty, was able to undertake his committee work, and proud to that, we all saw him at the plenary. The Speaker, this member is a young politician from the Eastern region. His first term in this chamber, who carries with him a lot of promise to contribute to the discourse of this our democratic enterprise. Speaker, it took his resilience to come to this august assembly of the people's representatives. He was determined to serve his people for the term he was elected to serve. Mr. Speaker, the caucus of the NPP minority has been struck by this sudden summons to our brother to the Parliament above, referring to our brother Ernest Komi of Akwatia. Speaker, we are in touch with the family, and as it is customary, at the appropriate time, Parliament and its leadership shall be informed. This information under the 92 must not be seen and construed in terms of any constitutional imperative. It is very informal. And just to say that, for the avoidance of doubt, the necessary requirements that may trigger any further process is properly outlined in the Constitution. The Speaker, we are aware that our respected brother who has been summoned by the Lord above, who presides over the Parliament above, left a family, a wife, and children. I am, through this medium, expressing on behalf of the caucus condolences to the bereaved family and to the people of Akwetia who found him worthy of their trust and therefore elected him to represent them. The caucus says to them, Kose, we know that this is sudden, it was unexpected. The member was not seen as somebody who was unwell, and therefore you are pained. But like we say, God knows best. Speaker, I just checked the background of this young man, born 1984, pursued his first degree, and per his public records, he's pursued 3 second degrees: an MBA in corporate governance, an LLB in law, MSc in defense and international politics, served previously as a security manager, proud to join in this chamber. Mr. Speaker, a lot can be said. For now, I would want to leave it here by way of the credentials he brought to this House. Mr. Speaker, his records in this House, both at the plenary and committee levels, are quite profound and are known to all. Above all, this brother had all that anybody would want to have in a brother. He lived the prayer of this House, quote, "A country of righteousness where none shall wrong his neighbor," unquote. No one can ever say that in his few months in this chamber, he was controversial or wronged colleagues.
And arguably this is one of the saddest days of this House. Like he said, saw on the platform some publication to the effect that we had lost our younger brother, Honorable Ernest Kumi. But I didn't believe it. I just thought, you know, in this our politics, sometimes people put out all sort of things. So I just thought it was. And then I got another message that said, leader is serious, it's true. It's published by Joy News and other credible news platforms. And I really was saddened by the development. Very young, just a little over 40 years. Very bright, as the minority leader has presented vividly. Within a short period, he had strung a number of degrees in diverse fields of study, showing that this is a very studious young man. At that age, he believed in democracy. He participated and effectively, and as a result, took a constituency as weighty as Akwatia from within his party and in the general elections. So this is a young man full of promise for the store of knowledge, intellect, promise for store of energy that this house needs to sustain it. The prime of his life, I mean, like the minority leader has indicated, I mean, he has everything that a young man of his age will need. And to be taken away from us at this stage in his life is not only a loss to his family, it's not only a loss to Akwatia as a constituency, it's a loss to Ghana because we wouldn't know where he would have ended up in terms of the leadership of this country. And we may never know what we have missed by losing him so early in his political career. I believe that this house has suffered a terrible blow, and it's the kind of blow that when you take, you can't stand. Even sitting will be a problem. And so I join my colleague to appeal to colleagues here and then Right Honorable Speaker that we do take an adjournment for today, and tomorrow we can come back and put ourselves together to be able to conduct public business. I know this is not a time for reading tributes. The family is still struggling to come to terms with what has happened. His constituency is still struggling to come to terms with what has happened. But we wish them, we extend our condolences to them, and our prayers are with them. And as a house, we are with them in this period of extreme.
Tuno, Nipila go to Netuno, Yabla Bomun, and it does over your for Bakopana Wakawuya, or no Bessie of an ice, or long as I swear, Efim, there was an idea, as you know, you needed also beer, and then it also be a blabo.
He's also a lawyer.
The protocol conundrum that we politicians keep giving to people is also increasingly becoming a challenge to us in this country. And to quote the Honorable Dr. Kumbo, who had said previously in other public domains, until you are injected by an incompetent doctor or nurse for you to die, that is when you will know that we need to begin to advocate for fairness and equal opportunity and access for people. Mr. Speaker, just this morning, I was asked by a journalist within this precinct of Parliament that he wants to know that are we waiting, or for how long will we wait until when a president wins an election in this country and the opponent goes to court just to challenge that person unfairly and to just deny that person that right that is due him. Mr. Speaker, in order not to sound prejudicial, I refuse to comment on the matter. But I want all of us to take note.
Order! All members, order!
Mr. Speaker, I want all of us to take note that this discussion that we are having here should not be one that we are just having it today and let it slide. It should bring to fore meaningful thoughts and discussion where citizens, policymakers, and CSOs will all come together to advance social justice in this country, and especially to me as the MP for Apetia in this country. Thank you.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Till Tuesday, the 8th day of July 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Mr. Chairman, colleagues, please, let's make a headway. Mr. Chairman, we have heard you. This is a house of rules and procedure that is not in doubt. This is a house that relies on precedence. I just have a simple answer to the point you made, and I have the instructions of my respected colleague-elect, Honorable Ernest Kumi, and fortified by the precedence of this House, which precedence is dated 7th of January 2021. I simply, Mr. Chairman, the member so desires to proceed to be sworn in and to also participate in the election of the Speaker and bear the consequences himself.
Till Tuesday, the 8th day. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Till may his soul rest in perfect peace. Amen. Till Tuesday, the 8th day of July 2025 at 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
All right, good morning, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us on Good Morning in Ghana. My name is Aldo Moro. Today is Tuesday, and it's the 8th of July 2025. Now, this is the day the Lord has made. We're indeed glad in it. And we're grateful to God for giving us the rare privilege of coming back here to join the nation's conversation on the big issues that are making the rounds in our dear country, Ghana. So I'll start with the front page of the newspapers that we've received this morning. Daily Graphic is what I will start with, as always. And it says, Cocoa Board adopts performance management tool to transform regulatory function. Government pays $349.52 million second Eurobond. Police grab suspected killer of Queen Mother. First indigenous large-scale mine ownership. EMP secures $100 million loan for major mining deal. The Ghanaian Times, Ghana's judicial design breeds interference, Professor Prempe. There's 12,614 AIDS-related deaths recorded in 2024, GAC, and that's the Ghana AIDS Commission. Embrace technologies in cocoa production, Professor Dako advocates. 21-year-old journalist life at risk, help save her. Akwetia MP Ernest Kumi is dead. Daily Guide. Akwetia MP dies at 40. My suspension is arbitrary. Tokono, don't take credit for Eban Akoma oil discovery. Minority. Agrada appeals jail term. EMP acquires $100 million Black Volta gold deal. It's game changer. Sam Jonah. Daily Post. Defense Minister confirms withdrawal of military protection for Jean Mensa. We have made history for Ghanaian mining with Black Volta deal, Ibrahim Mahama. Police established new security secretariat to support 24-hour economy initiative. There's EMP's $100 million Black Volta gold deal, a game changer for indigenous mining, says Sam Jonah. Akwetia MP and Eskumi passes away. The New Republic, $878,000 storm brewing at Ghana's weather agency, inflated contract and bypassed rules. NPP runs scared in Ablekuma North, 6-court bailout as defeat looms. Botima land looters will lose all. Minister warns encroachers to halt development activities on sports complex land. Government owes UK scholarship students 36 months stipends. Desperate students beg Mahama for intervention. The Insight. Court issues bench warrant for arrest of Land Guard commander as police CID headquarters wrestles court case from anti-Land Guard unit. Ghana, India share scars of colonialism, but strong in rich cultural heritage, Indian PM asserts. Commonwealth official to lead petition for pardon of Ato Essien. Tarzan takes on Arpeggio marking, says should account for stewardship at ECG before protesting one city fuel levy. And there's also the, so I think that's about it. And then the Business and Financial Times, gold FX assets to bolster deposit protection fund. The U.S. mogul Rudy Moyes praises investment climate on landmark visit. There's also best of Bukom, economy eye slice of $7 billion global boxing boom. The Cocoa Board introduces balanced scorecard approach to transform performance. And there's Mrs. Esther Domako honored as Ghana's most outstanding female in insurance brokerage. ADB introduces 24-hour service at Tema Harbour, and the UBA board chair honored as most financially responsible corporate chairman. There's Zenith Bank CSR shines through continuous investment in education. There's Fiase Man Rural Bank post exceptional operational performance, records 88.2% growth in profit. Shareholders get 70% returns on investment. All right, so these are the front page stories of the various newspapers we received this morning on Good Morning Ghana. Please stay with us.
Can I to know? Nipila go to net to know ya bla bomun and it has over your for Bacopa now. Kawi, or no busy off and I see so long as I swear I film. There was an idea, as you know, you need it also be and then it also be a blabo.
I'm here at Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology, this isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentations. And oh, your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an...
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
Hello, my friends. My name is Calcate Toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum, but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. makes your teeth stronger. Chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel Kids, happy smile.
I'm a brand manager. Of course, I accept only quality and affordable printed souvenirs for my promotional campaigns.
I'm the head of academic affairs of a very important institution in Ghana. Of course, we only deal with quality, reliable printing companies for our institution's printing materials. I'm talking about appointed time printing.
Appointed Time Printings. We take pride in our extensive print scope that transform your ideas into captivating visual masterpieces. We delve into the core objectives and vision of each print project. Precision printing is at the heart of our printing process as we meet your tight deadlines. Our rigorous inspection, color verification, and overall printing excellence are assured. 20 years of printing excellence. It's always a pleasure working with you to create a vibrant, dazzling printing experience that gives you a masterpiece. Appointed Time Printing, your world of quality and affordable printing.
Who shares a passion for restoring the toilet treatment plant following its expansion. Nevertheless, it is not forgotten the struggles faced by our constituents in accessing clean water are mirrored nationwide. As such,
the protocol conundrum that we politicians keep giving to people is also increasingly becoming a challenge to us in this country. And to quote the Honorable Dr. Kumbo, who had said previously in other public domains, until you are injected by an incompetent doctor or nurse for you to die, that is when you will know that we need to begin to advocate for fairness and equal opportunity and access for people. Mr. Speaker, just this morning, I was asked by a journalist within this precinct of Parliament that he wants to know that are we waiting, or for how long will we wait until when a president wins an election in this country and the opponent goes to court just to challenge that person unfairly and to just deny that person that right that is due him. Mr. Speaker, in order not to sound prejudicial, I refuse to comment on the matter. But I want all of us.
Yeah. And it's totally understandable why we're playing a lot of his videos. And he's a young chap who's just 40 years, and he has been called by his maker. And so you can understand why we're playing a lot of his videos. His dad at his prime, It's hit quite a number of people quite hard. Here, he actually died of, we're told, suspected cardiac arrest. I'm talking about the Akwetia MP, Ernest Kumi. And most of the newspapers have actually reported this morning. And so, I don't know him personally, but I know people who know him, and they've said some really wonderful things about him. You just saw in the video where the minority leader was talking about the fact that he actually had 3, second degrees. So quite clearly was somebody who took his life very seriously, and he took education also very seriously and passionately. But it is what it is. It will be called one day, and some other time would also be called by. Like I said, when the time comes, your maker would. When the time comes for your maker to call you, you can't say no, and that is what has happened. We can only wish him. Well, rest in peace, and we pray that he finds favor with the maker. And let me introduce my guest who are already here. I'm sure that they would want to share perhaps some fond memories that they have with him. That's if they do. And would move on to some other issues that are making the rounds. But joining me this morning is Professor Kingsley Nyako, who is a member of Parliament for the Kwadaso constituency. He's here with us. He's an educationist par excellence. He's very passionate about education. Prof, good morning. It's good to have you join us for the show.
Yeah, it's same here, Maro. Yeah, I hope you are doing good.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Yeah. We say it as Muslims, we say Alhamdulillah, And also Hamza Suhini is also here. He's a private legal practitioner and also a member of the NDC's communications team. Hamza, assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you.
I hope you're doing very well.
Well, yes. The fact that we are in good health or appear to be in good health.
I like that.
I think that is something we should be grateful to Allah for. And so for us, we say Alhamdulillah. And good morning to Prof. and of course your cherished viewers out there.
Yeah. So, Prof, I can tell even from the outfit you're wearing this morning that just like with a section of Ghanaians, or perhaps the entire Ghanaian society, you're also mourning with the family and friends of Ernest Kumi. And today's Ghanaian Times reports, it says Akwetia MP Ernest Kumi is dead, and the story is right here on page 3. It says the MP for Akwetia Ernest Kumi has passed away yesterday after a short illness, Minority Leader Alexander Penyowakin told Parliament. Consequently, Parliament has to adjourn following the news of the demise of the MP. Now, the details of his death are not disclosed, but he was in Parliament the previous week. His death is a big blow to the MPP and Parliament, where his expertise will be missed. Mr. Kumi, a first-time MP on the ticket of the MPP, had recently been at the center of a high-profile legal battle over his parliamentary legitimacy. His sudden death comes just weeks after the Supreme Court overturned his contempt conviction related to the disputed 2024 parliamentary election results. In February 2025, the Koforidua High Court found Kumi guilty after he defied an interim injunction barring him from, presenting himself or swearing in as an MP. Now, the court issued a bench warrant for his arrest, citing his failure to attend court hearings and his disregard for the court's authority. How well do you know this gentleman, and how much of a big blow is his death to the MPP fraternity, and perhaps to Parliament and to the people of Ghana?
So, Maro, good morning to you and to Suhini as well. My constituents from the Kwadaso constituency and your respected and revered viewers. I mean, it is a sorrowful moment. And yesterday, I got to Parliament from Kumasi around 11:30 in the morning because we had a press conference to correct some misleading impression created by the Ministry of Energy and Green Transition. So after the press conference, I received 2 phone calls. One of them asked me, is Ernest Yakumi sick? And I said, no. Just last week on Tuesday, I saw him in a chamber or so. And I asked him, Ernest, I've not seen you for a while. And he said, oh, he just finished writing his exam. Everything was okay. Then I received a second call from the chairman of the Education Committee, Nochu. What has happened to Ernest Yakumi? I said, nothing has happened to him. Because the last time I saw him, he was okay, you know what I mean? Nothing showed on him that he was unwell. But I decided to go to see another prayer, our chief whip. Right? I was in a meeting, so I couldn't engage him on that matter. And I went back to the elevator, and I saw 2 of our members. One of them slowly crying. And apparently, Rudolph, the MP for Suaman, is a very close friend of Ernest. In fact, yesterday morning, I was with him at the Kumasi International Airport, Ajima, the first international airport, coming to Accra. So he was crying uncontrollably. He said, Ernest demise. So that was when it dawned on me that the messages I was hearing were correct. Amoro, this life, I mean, death is inevitable. We all go at a point. But some deaths are inexplicable. Because if the person was unwell, you know what I mean, if there had been some prior evidence, then you can conclude that, oh, probably all that was supposed to have been done was done. But then we lost the soul. But as for Ernest, very intelligent, young politician, very sharp, very dedicated to the cause of his work, loyal to his country, a patriot who loves his party, and he's a fighter. You know, but unluckily for him, he had gone through, I mean, difficult moments, tumultuous ones. Remember in 2020, he won his primary to contest on our ticket. There were some internal issues in his constituency, Akwatia. So the national elections, he lost. He came back, won again the primary, then proceeded to win the national elections. Then legal issues surrounding his election victory and all that. And incidentally, yesterday was exactly the 6th month that he was winning, all of us. No, exactly 6 months. So it's a big blow. I mean, we lost a gem. And so painful, so painful. You know, the energy, the drive. Over the weekend, they were at Takoradi. The MP for Efia, Honorable Isaac Boamanyakon, organized a program there. I think it was about TESCOM program. So they went there over the weekend, and I'm told he left on Sunday morning to the constituency because he had to make a donation yesterday in the morning. So, it's a big blow, and for me, the family, the nuclear family. I'm praying that God gives them the fortitude, the mental strength, the emotional strength to withstand this shock. This shock need that strength to stand, because when death is not close to you, your perception of it is different. But when it is close to you, when you feel it, when you experience it, that is where you see the pain. I mean, the 7th Parliament, we had 2 persons losing their lives. Honorable Emmanuel Jacon, then the MP for Infansiman, who was I think shot when he was going for and when he was campaigning to seek re-election. Then the 8th Parliament, the first person who passed on, my own classmate at secondary school, Philip Baswa. There was going to be voting in the chamber around 10 p.m. I met him in the washroom and I said, Philip, how is it going? He said, Doc, everything is okay. Then the next morning, Philip was gone. Then John Kuma, another, fantastic young man, full of prospects. All of a sudden, he left us. Then, Ernest. So you're asking yourself, what is going on? What is happening? Is it that you are not doing something right? What is wrong? Even though, as we all know that death is inevitable, some of these things controllable? Could we have done something different to avert this untimely death? Because Philip was 53 years when he passed. John was 45 years when he passed. Ernest is, I think, 40 or 41, because I think he was born in 84 or so.
In fact, Annie just set the record straight on that. She just told me that he's 41.
Yeah, because I think it was somewhere May 84.
Yeah.
So 15th May 84. So if my checks are right.
We're in July, so
41.
41, yes.
So then, you know what I mean? These are persons in
in his prime.
You know what I mean? And these talents are gone. So Ernest, I met him in Parliament. Before Parliament, his contribution in national discourses, on radio, on TV, you can see that, the depth, of his submissions, of his ideas and all that. So we are going to miss our brother. And wherever he is, I know that God will keep his soul in peace. God be with him. And I'm sure whatever he couldn't achieve in this 9th Parliament, God should help us to achieve, so that he will be happy wherever he is. And his family, his children. I'm praying that the height he couldn't get to, his children should be able to, get to that height, or even go beyond that height, and become the great.
Do you know
person.
if he was? Do you know if he was married with children?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I'm told that he has a wife and a young child.
Okay.
A young child, about 2-year-old child. I don't know. That's what I
No,
heard from those who are close to him. And so, but again, in Parliament, Moro, the work is so
Okay, so he's actually married with 2 kids.
2 kids, rather, yeah.
2 kids.
Yeah, so the work in Parliament is tedious. The stress levels. So, I don't know, but I think that the parliamentary leadership, I'm talking about the parliamentary service. The parliament is headed by the speaker. You come to the chamber, you have the leaders there. Ayariga is leading. But I think the leadership should come together. Let us see how we can be intentional about the welfare of members. I mean, I know that some interventions have been put in place, but can we go beyond what has been done? How, beyond those interventions, how do we find out how our colleagues are doing? Because some have issues, or some may have issues, but if you don't know those issues, how do you even help them? So I'm saying that there should be a platform whereby the challenges, the critical needs of members should be ascertained for remedial interventions to be put in place. You know what I mean? So it's not everybody who would like to share their difficulties with others.
Yeah.
There should be that platform. I know that in Parliament there is a psychology unit there. The question is that how many of the members of Parliament and with the parliamentary staff patronize the psychology unit? How many of us go there? Are members even aware that they can seek psychological support from those areas? We have a clinic there. How many take the opportunity to even visit the facility? Last time I went to see my doctor, he said to me that I like the way you frequent the facility.
The facility.
You know, because I go to a lot of stress.
Yeah.
You know, you are here today. I went to Abidjan, I came back, went to the constituency. Almost every week I have to go to the constituency. Then you must do this media work. You know, you are coming to Good Morning Ghana, where I live. I need to wake up around 3 a.m. or 3:30 just to avoid congestion on the road. Because if I don't leave the house before 6 a.m.,
you're stuck.
Yeah, and I'll be late for the program. So at times you sleep beyond midnight. But then you have a short time to prepare and come here. From this program, I have 2 critical meetings before Parliament starts. And Parliament starts at 2 p.m. and normally it's supposed to do 5 hours, but we have a lot of business. So it goes beyond that. So 10 p.m. you are in Parliament. You leave Parliament at 10, where you live. At that time, traffic has lessened. But on that stretch, the Achimota Road,
yes.
If one of the long vehicles has broken down, another trouble for you. So you might get home late. You must also study. You have a lot of things that you have to do. So it is not easy. So there should be the need to strike a balance. Okay, work-family balance. You have family. How do you deal with the family? Because if you devote all your time to parliamentary work and others, your family is also left out of the equation.
Yeah.
There's another problem on your hands. So all these affect us. And I know he had to go to legal battles. Almost all the time, he was supposed to be at the court. Don't forget that he has to pay legal fees. Right? He has to also attend to the needs in the constituency. He was on other committees of Parliament. Okay? He has to attend to committee meetings. And so if you're not careful, you don't get managers. Yesterday, a friend called me when he heard of the demise of NA. He said, one of my very good friends in the constituency, he said, no, I think we should be able to manage you. And he was right. You need people to manage you. Those of us who, for some reasons, beyond our control, we live alone. You need persons to manage you and to help you. Otherwise, the unexpected might happen. And to conclude on this matter, you see, I have a friend. He's a slim. He's a slim person, and ideally, you wouldn't even think that such persons will have some of these non-communicable diseases, like diabetes, like hypertension. So one day he was taken ill. So went to, I think, SD Hospital or seen one of them. Then he was told that he has high blood pressure. He didn't know. There are a lot of people who are walking around who don't know that they have this condition.
Yeah.
And this condition is a silent killer. It's better to know so that you can work at it. This misconception about the fact that when you take pressure medication, you'll be impotent. This is a misconception.
Sorry about this.
Oh,
sorry about this.
This is a very serious matter. You see, this misconception has eaten deeply into the minds of persons, especially the males. So, when they are even told that they have hypertension, they are scared
to take their medicine.
Yes, and they resort to some unorthodox medications. Yeah. Some don't even. Then the unexpected happens. I'm saying that we should dispel and throw away that misconception because it is unfounded.
Yeah.
So you are telling me that your life, the life of your kids, your family members, those who depend on you, are not, or is not important as compared to the bodily pleasure and satisfaction that you want to derive. You know what I mean? So this is a wake-up call for all of us that regular checkups are very important. The commencement of this year, I was not feeling quite good, and I went to see.
Who's that, Ernest?
Me.
Oh, okay.
So I went to see my doctor, Dr. Day, lecturer at the University of Ghana. I went to see him. So he asked me to run some tests, comprehensive tests, which I did. But because I was not well, at times when I come here, you wouldn't know that I'm not even well, but I know. But because of love for God and country and some interventions we taking our medication and all that. So then when because of the way I was feeling, and I went to Lancet to run the test. When I was going for the results, I was scared. Because of how I was feeling. I was thinking, is it something terminal?
Yes.
Of my major organs. Because these are life-threatening issues.
That's true.
That if your kidney is not
functioning properly, or your liver, or anything like that,
then you are gone. No matter people will say they'll pray for you and all that. When it gets to that level, it is between your faith and God.
Yeah.
So then I went for the report. I didn't even open it. I gave it to the doctor. And he said, results
are fine.
Are good.
Okay.
Are good. Then I breathe a sigh of relief. You know what I mean? Even though I regularly do these checkups, I got scared, right? But it's important for you to know your condition and how to share them. My last point is that we shouldn't be shy to let people know what you are going through.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Because everybody has an issue.
Yeah.
So if you have any challenge, any issue, don't be shy. Discuss with people. In the midst of that, you might get a solution.
Yeah.
Don't keep your problems to yourself. The psychologists, I know how social networks, how environment can help you.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody might have a solution that you are looking for.
Yeah.
But if you keep that problem to yourself, you wouldn't get that solution.
That's true.
So we should open up and tell our close friends. You know, in Africa, one thing I've realized is that we don't trust each other.
Yes.
We are scared of people that if I tell Moro or Suhini my issues, maybe that person will use that against me. But you see, the wise don't behave like that. Look at major inventions that have happened in this world. From the West, it is mostly collaboration. People collaborate to do great things. But we come to a part of the world, you want to go solo because of the trust. I struggle to accept the fact that if I call him my friend, why should I hide some information from him? Then you're not my friend. You cannot be my friend when I cannot confide in you, when I cannot share things with you. But people are also saying that you don't know the mind of that person.
Mm.
So, I mean, it brings some form of fear. But for me, I believe that no matter what, confide in people reasonably, and in the midst of that, you might find answers. So, Ernest, may God be with you and your soul, wherever you are. May God be with you. Ghana Parliament will miss you. This country will miss you. And the new Patriotic Party, your constituents, your fought. You meant well to serve them. You meant well. I have no doubt in my mind that you didn't mean well. You meant well. But life, at times you cannot understand why things happen the way they do.
Mm.
And all this, and give it to God. And I have been saying that no matter what you go through, no matter what happens to you, you must come to the conclusion that probably it was meant to happen. That is why it has happened. That is how you are also able to overcome anxiety, fear, and worry. Because if you want to find answers to almost everything, the thought of it can at times give you more problems. So we accept it. Where we can correct, we do. Where we cannot, we let go. You do your best, the rest you leave to God.
God, yeah.
So, Ernest Yakumi, a brave patriot and a soldier. You fought from 2020. You've gone through a lot, but God knows why, Charlie. So, thanks for indulging me in the opportunity to commiserate the family of our brother.
Yeah. You know, at the beginning of the program, I was talking about how I didn't personally know him, but I know people who know him, and the kinds of, you know, positive testimonies that were said about him, and how I noticed that even on social media, a lot of people were hit hard by, you know, the news of his sudden demise. You know, apparently our own Annie, Ifwampofo here, who's a show whose Monday, she does the hosting of the show on Mondays, and also the chief producer of the show. Yeah. She was actually just telling me that apparently they're very good friends. You know, they attend the same church together. They talk almost all the time when they meet in church. They have very, very, you know, great conversations. And so, for somebody like her, you can understand it's quite personal. And you know, it's the kind of news that you hear, you would wonder, oh, why? What's happening? You know what I mean? Hamza, how well do you know him? Beyond just listening to his statements in Parliament and about, of course, his Akwetia seat and his battle to secure it and so on. You know, but before you even come in, there's a video which we want to play. That this video is important because, you know, it must have been a couple of months ago where the Esekado Ketan MP, Professor Grace Ayensu, who we all know as a medical practitioner herself, raised the issue about the quality of the health facility in Parliament and how that should be taken a critical look at, so that if there's any emergency, you can go there and to be attended and so on and so forth. Let's watch that video. I think it's become more important now. Let's watch that video.
Issue about emergency medical services. Mr. Speaker, since I came into the Parliament maybe about a couple weeks ago, I have gone around the entire premises, and Mr. Speaker, I don't see any emergency kits or any emergency services provided for us parliamentarians. I don't see AEDs in the bathrooms or in the hallways. And the other day, we also saw the former president's ADC, who fainted in the chamber, and the way the ADC was actually carted away was actually not per standard of care. So, Mr. Speaker, as a trauma surgeon myself, I would like to propose that maybe with your indulgence, that we have a committee that might even have an emergency services team, so that we can walk the premise and see how best we can help ourselves in the room. I also have an agency that we teach emergency services, which is advanced cardiac life support, which is what happens when people are having a heart attack or a stroke. We also have the stroke care. That maybe we offer some of these classes to our parliamentarians, and not only just as parliamentarians, but the staff, as well as perhaps our drivers and maybe our house helps, so that in case one of us is in trouble, at least there's someone who can perform the first aid. Proper first aid leads to decreased morbidity and mortality, and all the studies have shown that. So for me, I'm concerned that we don't have those services available, not even an AED in any of the hallways. Should any one of us in this room have an emergency situation, I think that we probably may not make it to the nearest hospital. So we really need to look at that for us in this chamber and all of us in this House of Parliament. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you.
Yes, that's Professor Grace Ayensu Dankwa. Yeah. She's raised some really important issues, hasn't she?
Critical issues.
You know, and you can relate to what she said.
You know, last week I was sitting in my office before Sweeney.
Yes, Sweeney, sorry. I'll bring you in Hamza, sorry.
Sitting, Hamza right now, okay. Hamza Sweeney. So sitting in my office, you know, we have a gym in Parliament.
Okay. You have a gym?
Yeah, I've not been there.
Okay.
So the gym instructor came to my office. Apparently, he was moving from office to office, and he said to me that, I've never seen you at the gym before, but members are supposed to come over there. That is why the gym is there. So I think that we need to be intentional about some of these things.
Take exercise seriously.
Yeah, so that's why he came to tell me, and I'm sure he went to tell others that we don't see you there. Come and get exercise. Come and get fit. So Dr. Ayensu, I mean, fair point. We must, that's what I said earlier on, that we need to be intentional. I know that our welfare is being taken care of in a way, but we can be intentional about how we take welfare issues and our health, especially our mental health, very, very seriously. And hopefully this will be might be the more opportune time to get it done in here.
All right, Hamza.
Boro, I think that for me, I do not have any personal relationship with the late MP. And I don't think that I have met him before, unless, of course, maybe I did without actually remembering. But I was equally hit with the sad news because, in truth, I do not know his family background. But I got terribly scared as a young person because I am a bit older than him per the date of birth that you have given. And so I was worried because I looked at my 3 kids back home who happen not to be in the country. And for a moment I was wondering whether indeed he also has children. Because for me, that was a red flag for me. And sometimes not just about taking care of the children, because I'm sure that we have family relatives now. In my case, that God forbid, if in case something should happen, I am convinced that I have the needed family support to be able to step in my absence. But not everybody would be that fortunate. True. When it comes to the families that the family members you are leaving behind, especially when they are young. We lost our parents when we were at the age that we could be described as being independent in a way. So I'm sure that even in going, our parents themselves went with some measure of peace because they knew that they had raised us to a certain stage where we could take care of ourselves. So that comfort was there. But when a young person dies, it is not just the blow to his associates. It is also the blow to his family members, especially if they are young. And I was hoping that Prof would make reference, give us a background view as to the family. But it is terribly sad, to say the least, especially such a bright, handsome young man to have gone that soon. It brings to the fore, undoubtedly, the unspeakable pressures associated with political work, especially the parliamentary level. Because I dare say that the pressures that comes with it, in a way, hits them directly than it does when it comes to even the presidency or vice presidency.
But look, Hamza, even you, look at the number of platforms you go on daily basis and the times you have to wake up.
Yes.
To hear the road and go to these platforms.
Yes, Moro, but you see, I do not dwell on that much. And so that's why when Prof was speaking, I was a bit hesitant in agreeing with him when it comes to the demands, workloads of parliamentarians. I respect that it is burdensome. I respect the fact that the schedules are tight. But I don't think that it is peculiar to parliamentarians alone. Indeed, there are many of our citizens who wake up on a daily basis and have to leave for work as early as 4:30, 5 a.m. because of the areas they stay. There are many of our citizens who would have to stay in traffic for hours from the Kasua enclave trying to find their ways into Accra Central to make ends meet. So it brings to the fore how unconscious we have been when it comes to planning our developmental trajectory. It brings to the fore how unserious we have been as a republic, even in terms of investing in our housing infrastructure. Because these are many people who would wish to stay closer to town, especially in Accra. If government had worker bungalows, or like bungalows that Senate can also step in to build like they were doing in the past, in certain industrial zones where workers can take advantage of so that they can stay closer to employment opportunities. If we invest in industry by making sure that we strategically spread these opportunities to the areas like Kasua and so, if we work on making accommodation rent truly affordable in line with our Rent Act. Many of our citizens who live far and have to drive into Accra on a daily basis because they cannot pay for rent in Accra. Not because they don't want to stay in Accra. And the dangers they will be exposed to. So just like the parliamentarian, these civil servants leave their families as early as 4:30 to 5 a.m. And the only time they get back home, their families would have been asleep. Because of the traffic situation, many of them get back home as late as 8 to 8:30 p.m. and sometimes 9. And if you have a family of young people, they would have been asleep by then. So it's possible that for the entire week, you do not get the opportunity to interact with your children because of how far you stay from your work zone. So it is not peculiar. Many of these things are not peculiar to MPs. And that is the reason why we should not narrow the debate down to what the MPs go through. It must be a wake-up call for the executive, for the legislature, to partner effectively in finding solutions to many of these teething problems that are confronting our people. Moreover, truly, the pressures of parliamentary work cannot also be underestimated. Because dealing with human beings is quite a challenge. On a daily basis, you wake up to a series of text messages of demands that even you on your own cannot fulfill.
Yeah.
Your constituents look at you and they feel that as for you, life is better for you. And so you should be able to meet all their demands, even those of us who are not MPs and are simply politically exposed. Sometimes you walk out of the studios and people are queuing to meet you because they believe that you have what it takes to solve their problems. They simply have no idea that you also go through life the rough way they go through. But what do you expect? They have seen you neatly dressed on a TV station, and so it should be fine with you. In this business, you hardly have time for yourself. Your frustrations, you carry it alone. And that is where I agree with Prof. When she is making the call that there's a need, especially when it comes to Parliament, for them to have a standing committee to at least engage members of Parliament and educate them in many of these health hazards. Trust me, these are things some of us have been calling for even within the political parties.
Yeah.
Some news breaks, and tomorrow you go to bed and you cannot sleep. Whether you like it or not, your blood pressure would be rising.
It gets you thinking.
It gets you thinking. Your frustrations, like Prof indicated, you are even afraid to share it to the next colleague because you don't know who is after you and who is with you. That is the kind of environment we find ourselves. It is incredibly toxic.
We're quick to stigmatize.
Yes.
We're very quick to stigmatize.
So it is you barely, apart from your family, and in this case your wife, it is sometimes difficult to speak to the next person available. Because today you are friends, the next minute you are political opponents, even within the same political party.
Yeah.
So it is not an easy job. But I have always argued that before you get into it, know what you are getting into.
Yeah.
So from day one, I knew from my secondary school days when I started being politically active, I made time and effort to understand the kind of environment I was going into. And so throughout my university days, I was learning about the profession. And that's why I always tell people, especially these days, young guys who are desirous of being active politically. They think that politics is just a field that you can wake up on a good day and because of the resources available to you, you go and target a parliamentary seat and boom, you are into politics. Or because of mere association with a political power, you think that it is okay to go into politics without understanding. And after all, it is an open field where everybody can play. But Moro, I dare say that just like nursing profession, that requires training and understanding before you can effectively perform your role as a nurse. Or teaching, that requires some training. Politics is also one that we must take our time to understand and plan our lives accordingly before we jump into. Because failure to do so would result in many of these illnesses.
Yeah.
And that's why Prof was talking about personal management and the need for them to get people to manage them. In truth, the reason why we are where we are, Prof, is largely because many of us do not understand the profession we are going into. We underrate the pressure that comes with these professions. We take it for granted. And we are motivated by what appears to be an enterprising outlook of politicians.
Yeah.
And so the motivation has always been for me to also get in there and be called honorable.
Yeah.
Or get all the necessary attention from states. Or get the largesse in terms of economic empowerment. But we do not invest so much time to understand the challenges that comes with. We underrate it. And so you get in there and the pressure gets to you.
Yeah.
And whether you like it or not, you would crumble.
Sure.
So we must be deliberate. Apart from trying to educate members of parliament, I think that political parties must also make it part of their activities to ensure that we go on outreach, educate our members, educate the Ghanaian citizens for them to appreciate that this is not an easy calling. And before you decide to get into it, make sure you understand what you are getting into.
Fully aware of what you're
Fully
getting
aware of the pressures associated with it. So that is why, Moro, when I wake up by early in the morning, I'm here. It is not something I did not anticipate. And so even before this morning, I would have planned for it last night. Planned my day effectively.
Yeah.
And I know the times that I have to rest. That's how I organize myself. I'm sure Prof will say that it's because you are not a member of parliament.
And when you're resting, you refuse to be disrupted.
Yes, I know how to plan myself. Things that are within my capability, I do it. When I wake up on a daily basis and I see demands about school fees, those that I can meet, I endeavor to. Moro, look, people would call you and make demands of you. In this game, people you can hardly say no to.
Yeah.
And you are afraid to say no to them because in your mind, and that is why that training is important, in your mind it is tied to your standing in society.
That's true.
So if you tell the person that, oh, but this thing you need, I'll not be able to get it for you. The person you will be feeling that the person will feel that, oh, then Hamza has not gotten to where I thought he was.
Thank you.
But in truth, I have not gotten there. I don't need to impress you that I am there.
Asking for only 1,000 cedis. He said he doesn't have.
Yes.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine?
Ask Professor Kingsley Nyako for only 5,000. He said he doesn't have.
And they forget that it's not only them that you are dealing with.
Yes.
There are a lot more.
Yes.
You can't my constituency.
Yes.
The registered voters are 91,000. The inhabitants in Kwadaso are about 200,000. Assuming you give each person 10 cedis, how much is it? It's not 2 million.
Yes.
But you give somebody maybe 50 cedis or 100 cedis, they look down upon it. Forgetting that it's not only about that individual,
yes,
but the wider.
Yes,
that's true.
Yes, and you see, Moro.
You know, when we're seeking for help from somebody, we think it's just us.
You see, Moro, but these are some of the challenges we face. But like I've indicated, if you know the field you are going into and you are mentally prepared, you would know when to say no, even in a nice way. you would know when to rest, and you plan your schedule in line with your health requirements. This is very important.
Yeah.
And you see, I'm being a little bit reluctant in running full commentary on MPs and their demands because I've never been a member of parliament.
Okay.
So that's why you need to hasten slowly.
Slowly, yeah. So that's why I'm hastening slowly in that. I've never been. So I may be underrating the pressures. Yes, I have. But fortunately, I have worked with members of parliament. So at least I can hazard a guess in terms of the pressure that they go through. It is no mean pressure. I remember at a point in time in opposition, I personally had to fight with my big brother. Because before he became a member of parliament, there were certain assets I could point to that, look, the gentleman acquired this, he acquired that, he acquired this. But since he became a member of parliament in 2016, for the 2017, when he became parliament, I sat down with him one time, and I was asking him, okay, so big bro, this period that you have been in parliament for over first term now, what have you achieved? Not even a land that the gentleman could point to.
Because he's scared.
Indeed. And what brought about the discussion was a discussion to sell one of the properties to go to his go and conduct his election.
Oh, Charlie.
You see, these are things I know a lot of MPs go through.
Going through,
A lot of them go through. So I cannot underrate what they go through. I appreciate it. But you see, we must be careful in our discussion to limit these challenges to only MPs. Moro. Because, like I indicated, like Prof called for regular checkups.
Yeah.
And that people should ensure that they do regular checkups. Prof, the cost implications of regular checkups.
Not everybody can afford it.
Can our citizens afford it?
Yeah.
So these are the discussions we should be having. And those of you who are privileged to sit in that August house.
Is it part of the new NHIA list of items that they pay for?
We all have to.
That would be great.
But you see, that would have been great. But you see, Moro, things like this should not push our MPs, regardless of the pressures that they are having to deal with, to be inward looking in terms of what they can do for themselves.
Right.
It should prick their conscience to begin to think about the larger effects of policies on the Ghanaian people and what we can all do to lessen the burden on us and ensure that we all have access to good health care. So if I expect our MPs today to be discussing about the cost implications of even simply going for checkups. There are many of our civil servants who on daily basis manage stress we have no idea of.
True.
Because they walk into their offices and either political heads or administrative heads make their lives a living hell from morning till about the time they close. Many of our citizens die because of these pressures.
True.
So the call must be holistic. We are talking about parliamentary hospital and the fact that it lacks the needed amenities. In truth, Moro, that actually shouldn't be our discussion. How far is Parliament House to 37? How far is Parliament House to the Rich Hospital? Especially. And this is a hospital all of us ought to have access to. So what prevents Parliament from leading advocacy that Rich Hospital should be given the necessary status that it requires and necessary investments so that not just Parliament can have access to it in case of emergency, but civil servants working in the ministries and departments within that central enclave.
Right.
So that even you, Moro, working at Metro TV, you are not far to Rich Hospital.
That's true.
In case of an emergency, you can equally be driven there in an ambulance. That's why we have the ambulances. We must retool and ensure that it is efficient. So the discussion, with the greatest respect to POF, is not just about retooling the Parliamentary Emergency Center. It is about retooling areas like Rich Hospital that Parliament can easily have access to in a matter of 5 minutes when they drive you out of Parliament. This is where the discussion should center. So Parliament should take advantage of the Honorable Kumi's passing to demonstrate at least their willingness to pursue policies that go or that goes beyond their interests or personal benefits to that of the larger Ghanaian society. We should not miss this opportunity. But I sympathize with them, the parliamentarians, when it comes to the associated pressure.
It's tough.
It's tough. But that does not mean that they should be looking inward and be concerned more about themselves. There's something that I read about in the Animal Farm. That was written by, what's the name? They said George Orwell, but of course his name is Eric Atterbury. Those days in senior secondary school, when we were doing English, I think that was one of the books we read. And where it is explicitly stated. And that was when I started forming my view on politics and leadership, where he said that leadership is not a pleasure. On the contrary, it is a deep and heavy responsibility. So if I decide today to contest for a parliamentary seat, I would have known from day one. That is no child's play. And I ought to be prepared for it. So leadership entails making sacrifices to ensure the comfort of the broader perspective or spectrum of the Ghanaian citizenry. Not just about ourselves and our comfort. And that should drive policy going forward, especially from Parliament. I expect Parliament to take advantage, because in the last 4 years, about 4 members of Parliament, especially from the minority, have lost their lives. So I expect Parliament to take advantage of this initiative to begin to lead the advocacy when it comes to empowering our hospitals, regional hospitals, district hospitals. Parliament must take advantage of this to begin to lead the discussion and advocacy so that executive would begin to put in the necessary investments in that sector.
Very important.
That would inure to the benefit of all of us, so that even tomorrow, if you are out of Parliament, or even you as a member of Parliament, if your child, God forbid, suffers a certain ailment, because of the fact that he's not a member of Parliament, he can be assured of access to good healthcare elsewhere. But if we are inward looking and we are concerned about ourselves, there's the tendency that we may benefit, but even the children we are giving birth to may suffer. So we must have a holistic approach to it. And my deepest condolences to the express my condolences to the family of NS Kumi. And I know that it is a painful period. But for those of us who are Muslims, in such a time, we say that it is God who gives and it is God who takes. And the belief is always that the hereafter is undoubtedly better than this world. And so we hope and pray that he is received peacefully in the bosom of his Creator. And that his family would be given the necessary support to go through this painful period of life. And they should also be reminded of the fact that if God breaks your leg, God would be more than willing to show you how to walk again. So all is not lost. I'm sure at this stage, the late Honorable MP himself would be desirous of their happiness. And so they must be guided by that, even in their mourning period. And know that wherever he is, hopefully, he's been treated well. And he himself would have been happy after he's gone to rest. I'm told he was a first-year student of the Faculty of Law. And I'm sure he has colleagues there. Our sympathies to these friends of his as well, and to all members of Parliament. This is, and undoubtedly, it is a beautiful occasion in the August House of Parliament, because in a long while, it brought both the majority and minority sides of Parliament together to mourn, and you could see the brotherhood exhibited, especially yesterday in Parliament. It should not be...
Death is a leveler, eh?
Yes, that is a leveler, of course, because anybody can go at any point in time, though we all pray for long life and good health. That is in the hands of our Maker. But Prof made reference to one thing which I want to say finally. The issue of checking our blood pressure and staying true to the medication is very, very, very important. And I'm glad to report that today, those who were concerned about the implications of blood pressure pills on your performance, there are pills that have no such side effects on your performance. So your doctors can have a discussion with them and they can work out a plan and you respect it. Especially those of our colleagues who are in politics. Exercise is very, very important. They must find time, no matter their busy schedules. They must find time to exercise. And more to find time to chill too. I don't joke with my social life, you know. In all honesty, I don't joke with it. When there's time for me to go and take care of myself and sleep very well and have my peace of mind with all my phones off.
After all, life is short.
After all, life is short. And you don't take certain things to heart. This is politics. Today it is good, tomorrow is going to be bad, tomorrow is bad, the next day it will be good. You move with the flow and take care of yourself. If you allow things to get to you, you will die here.
But also have fun in moderation.
Oh, of course, the fun must be in moderation. But for me,
I mean, because for instance, like
the only thing that keeps me from not having fun is if my pocket is dry, like this week. So by next week, my pockets are full. Trust me, you will see.
You go hit out.
Oh, I'll be
everybody go hear about it.
Oh, of course.
Anyway, yes, it's just a quick one. Okay, so what else?
So Hamza, I don't think you want to create the impression that in discussing this issue about our departed brother, MPs are immoral looking. I didn't get that one quite clear. Because we are discussing this issue because...
No, I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying that we should resist the temptation. Not that you are. I don't think you are.
So, Dr. Yensu, the observation she made was peculiar to Parliament. It's a first-time MP, and she has seen that we don't have any emergency centers, first aid case and all that. So, she was making a suggestion that those things have to be provided. So the MPs cannot be inward looking. It's not only about ourselves. Even this morning discussions, we are even extending it to cover the larger citizenry by suggesting that there should be regular checkups and all that. So we cannot be inward looking. We are there for the people. So it's not only about us, just that we feel that the demands on us and the fact that about 5 of our members from 2017 to today, 5, something is amiss. And we need to find solutions to. And again, the issue about regular checkups and the cost. I mean, we need to encourage people to do. We need to encourage people to do it. If the cost is so high, then the health minister, the health committee of Parliament should look into it. There are some people, it's not even about the cost, but that habit, that culture is not there. It's not there at all. It is zero. They are scared to go and check for them to be told that this is the problem. And they prefer to go to pastors and other religious bodies to tell them their problems. So regular checkups vis-a-vis the cost, which is better. And it's not, I don't want to say that it's not expensive, but it is important for us to, do that. And if you're able to do that, I believe that to help us. In Parliament, when I went to Parliament, one thing I saw was that there was not an institutionalized mentoring program. So I was pushing for there to be a mentoring program in Parliament. Anywhere, every time we had discussions, I made sure that I put across.
Yeah.
Luckily for us, the ninth parliament, the minority side, has instituted a mentoring program where first-time MPs in particular have been assigned to more experienced continuing MPs. And I think that it is a good start. And I'm hoping that it will be replicated across the various caucuses.
Okay.
And that we must make sure it is effective. Mentoring shouldn't necessarily be on, or should not necessarily be about the rules and the procedures of the House. It shouldn't be about the standing order of the Constitution or the practice of the parliamentary work. It should go beyond that. For example, if a senior MP has been assigned, let's say 4 or 5 members, their welfare must also be your concern.
Yeah.
So if we are able to do this well, I'm sure that we can fruitfully share our burdens, share our problems, and other advantages that we can all enjoy. So I'm hoping that Parliament will strengthen this kind of program, not only in Parliament, but also across other institutions.
Okay.
We should have this kind of program that will help us to share the pains and the anxieties
of people
and the fears of people and
Very
all
important.
that. I mean, I think it will help.
Okay. I think it's a good idea. So Kofi Kapito has been watching us, and he agrees in total with a lot of the things that Hamza Suheni has said, but he adds that they should set the MP should be aware of healthy lifestyle and exercise on regular basis, and that's what he asked Kofi Kapito, who is the Chief Executive Officer of the Consumer Protection Agency. Now, a very, very good friend of mine, Hassan, has sent a message. He says that, Assalamu alaikum, my brother. Did I hear the MP, Kingsley Nyako, saying that late Ernest Kumi went to Takrady? Did you say that?
Yeah, they had a program there on over the weekend.
Okay,
yeah.
So he said, was it based on an invitation? Do you know whether he was invited to the program?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, he
a group of MPs went.
Okay,
yeah.
So he continues to say, and can you tell if the food that was served, okay, so can his food served be traced back to whether there was some kind of foul play or something?
No, but you see, the point is that. So
but of course, he continues to say, very sad of Ernest Kumi's demise. MPs should watch inner circle of their party.
No. Who sent that message?
Hassan.
You know what I mean? This is not.
This is not party politics.
Be engaging in
conspiracy theories and so on.
See, unless he's assuming that was the only place that he ate.
Right.
Because he came back to the constituency. Okay. You could have eaten before even getting to. So you don't have to go there. You know.
That's fine. No, I get it. I totally understand that. So Master Planner Junior, who is also a regular viewer of the show, he's a policy analyst in Kentampo. He says that In fact, yesterday was a sad day for the Akwetia constituency, Eastern region, the New Patriotic Party and Ghana at large. Honorable Ernest Yakumi, this was not what we discussed in our last conversation. I'm broken-hearted. Rest well, sir. Condolences to the family. Master Planner Junior, who's a policy analyst in Kentampo, and he says he can't control his tears because he was actually one of the MPs who will always have time to answer calls and reply text messages regardless of his busy schedules. But he continues to say, inshallah, everything will be fine. Allah knows best. That's Master Planner Junior from Kentampo. All right, so I guess we would have to end the conversation here and take a short break. When we return, there's a seat which is under contention. Now, interestingly, it was also one of the seats that in January this year, must have been in February this year, that was contested in court by the parliamentary candidates, apparently because they had issues with how the Electoral Commission had conducted. I must have been about 6 or so seats, yes. And Akwetia was one of them, and also Ablekuma North was also one of them. So I'm talking about Ablekuma North constituency. The latest we have heard is that true to the MPP's threat, the MPP has gone to court to halt the the rerun of the some 19 constituents, or some 19 polling stations in that constituency. And so we'll get to the bottom of that. Please stay with us. This is Good Morning Ghana.
At Mycom JA Limited to show you the Promethean Active Panel, the ultimate tool for corporate institutions, hospitals, schools, and your home. With its crystal clear 4K display and an unbreakable screen with an ultra responsive touch technology. This isn't just a screen, it's a game changer. For corporate institutions and in schools, this active panel can be used for Zoom meetings and PowerPoint presentation. And your homes are not left behind. You can use it to watch all your favorite programs by just connecting to a Fire Stick, and you can get access to channels like Netflix and Amazon, and voila, you are in there. At Mycom JA Limited, we provide you with the best quality products from the United States of America with 1-year warranty. You can get an...
Yes, next. Hey, Nadia Benson,
Me didn't tum Mr. Frammy Calico, just call me cockroach. Now, Mr. Frammy once now. Hey, that's you. Improve car. Yeah. Captain Mosquito, double the accent. Me did it, Sasso spray. Mr. Frammy Sasso quell. Yeah, go to my Sasso. Sasso, come tum preko.
Ebusiafo ye mama kwaba eba Children's Palace. Nkwala nyema nyina fie enyi. Yonkwala ntade mani mema nyina ntare nyina wase. Yonkwala shoes, yonkwala duane, yonkwala wipes, yonkwala diapers, yonkwala toys, baby coat. In fact, bibia opama omanyina obenye biwa ase.
Located at East Legon Hills, Nana Chrome KFC. Contact us on 059 6377 172. Children's Palace. Happy children, happy fashion. See you soon. Bye bye.
What iPhone, Papa? You were home.
So open iPhone's accessories papa dia menhwe baby a
me mo akwa ba EBA phones and accessories.
Sebani EBA yeton iPhones any ho accessories. iPhone 50 XL cost 16 Pro Max. Accessories ye wo charger, AirPods, any iPhone ho akade nyina. Yanoma ye ni sikapudu e de beto iPhone. Say ya ankrankre, boja and na say abon adwuma ye phone nyina. For 40% beji iPhone bia ope. Na ni aka no, wo de bosome miensa. Etua ne nkakra. E kwan ya obefa so de achi ani. Dial *713*5571#. Oba, sheno so say wo de wo Ghana card. Ene nia e kire say wo ye adwuma. Hwehwe ye kire kwan e wo circle mo. Ene tiptoe line ni modern photos enchen ho a. Afein so, say wo ba American Mall, ye ni odo rice ene di nhwani. Kuma senso ye wo edum Central Prisons runabout ejekum abonsan ni mo. Freyen e wo numbers na ebu screen ni so no. EBA phones, no hassle cra.
Are you a headmaster, headmistress,
parent, teacher, or an educator looking for high-quality textbooks for preschool, primary, and junior high school students, look no further than Advocate Publishing Company. Advocate Publishing Company is a leading publisher of educational materials in Ghana that publishes very engaging, interactive, and comprehensive textbooks that meet the needs of students, teachers, and parents. Our textbooks are thoroughly published to make learning fun and easy. They are also designed to stimulate critical thinking, problem solving, and creativity in students. Make Advocate Publishing your preferred choice for all your educational needs. Explore our range of textbooks and educational resources. Visit us at the old GNTC yard near Kingsway, Accra. You can contact us on 0503 786 776 or 02408 06354, also 0531 600360, and connect with us on Instagram, X, and Facebook at Advo Publishing. Don't settle for less. Choose the best. Advocate Publishing Company, empowering young minds one textbook at a time. Thinking publishing, think Advocate Publishing.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Akleku, which is a 15-minute drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
A home is more than just walls and a roof. It's the warmth of family, the assurance of security, and the joy of shared moments. Whether you're returning from abroad or seeking a new beginning, Rehoboth Havens Ayimensa is where your journey truly begins. Nestled beneath the tranquil Ebri Mountains, this gated community offers the perfect blend of modern living and natural beauty. Our 2, 3, and 4 bedroom homes are designed for family living with spacious interiors, elegant finishes, and all the comforts that make life better. From cozy living rooms for bonding, to modern kitchens for culinary creativity, and private gardens for peaceful reflection, every space is thoughtfully crafted. At Rehoboth Havens, your children play safely, your family grows joyfully, and your memories are built on a foundation of care and community. Starting from 675,000 Ghana cedis with flexible installment plans, your dream home is within reach because everyone deserves a place to truly call home. Rehoboth Havens, where futures are built and dreams come to life. Call us on 0553 751933 or 0206 823524 to secure your future today. Rehoboth Social Housing, your housing dream becomes reality.
All right, so you're live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I'm here with Professor Kingsley Nyakun, who is an MP for the Kwadaso constituency, and also Hamza Suhini is he's not a member of parliament, he's a member of the NDC's communications team, and also a private legal practitioner. So I did indicate that Ablekuma North, as we all do know, is still without a member of parliament and is getting a lot of political and social watchers a bit worried, especially looking at where we're coming from. You know what happened with the SAL situation. For 4 years, they didn't have a sitting member of parliament, and that created so basically there was no representation, and we know that definitely they would have lost out on quite a number of goodies that should have gone to them, and I'm using goodies here advisedly. And we don't want a similar thing to happen to the people of Ablekuma North. Now there's a development that, so the EC promised that it's going to run in 19 of the polling stations in that particular constituency in order to, conclude the collation of the results of the Ablekuma North constituency. But there's been some back and forth between the two political parties as to how to go about it. So the EC finally decided to go and do a rerun. But the MPP has gone to court. Why are they in court? Today's New Republic actually reports and tells us why the MPP has decided to go to court in order to injunct the process from happening. And so it says MP runs scared in Ablekuma North, 6 courts bailout as a defeat looms. And that story is on page 5 of today's paper. Now, Prince Ahenkra says that a political temperature in Ghana's Ablekuma North constituency has hit boiling point, with the ruling New Patriotic Party visibly rattled and desperately seeking judicial intervention to halt a crucial parliamentary rerun. Insiders suggest the party, sensing an imminent defeat, has thrown a legal Hail Mary, filing an interlocutory injunction to block the Electoral Commission from proceeding with an exercise that could dramatically shift the balance of power. The MPP's national youth organizer, Salah Mustafa, has emerged as the party's chief mouthpiece in this high-stakes drama, launching a blistering attack on the EC. Now, Mustafa openly lambasted the electoral body's unilateral decision to conduct a rerun in 19 polling stations within the constituency, confirming the MPP has indeed dragged the EC to court. The EC's rationale for the rerun is rooted in persistent disputes over the integrity of the results from the December 7, 2024 general elections. However, the MP, clearly on the defensive, has dismissed the directive as unfair, claiming it was issued without stakeholder consensus, a convenient narrative as the political stakes escalate. In a scathing indictment, Mustafa, reported by City Newsroom, accused the EC of setting a troubling example that threatens to erode trust in Ghana's electoral process. Its words carry the weight of a party fighting for its political life, painting a picture of an EC gone rogue. We have filed an interlocutory injunction in court. This cannot be allowed to happen. The EC has no authority to unilaterally call for reruns in selected polling stations. If this is permitted, it creates a dangerous path in our electoral system where parties sensing, loss can cause chaos and demand reruns in areas of its choosing. This undermines democracy. If the EC believes a rerun is needed, it should seek a court order, Mustafa asserted, his voice dripping with a mix of defiance and apprehension. And this says the Ablekuma North constituency have been an electoral battleground for over half a year, a glaring anomaly that has left its constituents without a voice in parliament. The protracted stalemate stems from unresolved dispute over vote collation, a saga marked by accusations of fraud and political maneuvering. The initial EC figure showed a razor-thin victory for the MPP's Nadeke of Uswe-Free, who supposedly edged out the NDC's candidate Irabuna Obin by a mere 414 votes. So that's 34,613 as against 34,199. But Obin and the NDC were quick to cry foul, rejecting the results and leveling serious allegations of electoral fraud, including falsified pink sheets and alleged collusion with the MPP. The plot thickened on January 17, when the collation process descended into chaos. Reports of vandalism at the EC's Greater Accra office, allegedly involving NDC supporters, brought the process to a screeching halt. Property was destroyed, including shattered louver blades and doors, and an act the NDC later explained as a protest vigil for accountability and transparency. Now, further complicating matters, a mysterious fire in December 2024 consumed ballot material stored overnight at a facility in Kwashima. Now, this blaze, conveniently occurring amidst the dispute, cast a dark shadow of suspicion over the entire process and fueling doubts about the election's credibility. So, yeah, the EC under immense pressure bowed to the inevitable, announcing a rerun in 19 of the 37 police stations. Now, their stated reason, unverified scanned pink sheet. So, Prof, so you said it, you promised, you've done it, you've gone to court. how optimistic are you that this process would be halted? First of all, do you have any idea why you did this on you didn't do it, what's the name? You didn't do it on notice, but you did it on what's the other, you're a lawyer, what's the name? It just escaped me.
That was not on notice.
Yes, you didn't go on notice. You went, what is the word I'm looking for?
Ex parte.
Ex parte. That's the word I'm looking for, yes.
Okay, so I'm not part of the legal team.
Okay.
And I think the process was filed on behalf of the party by a legal team.
Okay.
The Electoral Commission is an independent constitutional body. And I think that they should continuously be seen as such. The EC should be bold and firm and decisive. I wouldn't sit here to bastardize a state institution that is mandated to ensure that there is fairness and integrity in our electoral process.
Okay.
But what is happening is kind of strange. It's kind of strange. It beats my imagination. Because I remember Dome Kwabenya, there was supposed to have been a rerun. The EC now came back, didn't even do the rerun, but went ahead to declare Akuru, one of my former students, the member of parliament, elect in that constituency.
But at the time, I recall the EC's justification for doing that was that even if they added all the votes to that of, how do you call it, a professor?
I think the EC had indicated that there was going to be a real run, but they reneged on that position. Okay, but I also think that they had issues with the pink sheet, the student opposed.
Okay.
Right, that they were photocopies or something. But the EC still went ahead and used that to make that declaration. So it's kind of weird for what is happening at Ablekuma North. But you see, the majority chiefship, Nelson, Roxanne Nelson Eche Kwame Dafiamapo.
Yes.
Filed an urgent question in Parliament for the EC chair to come and explain to us the status of the candidature at Ablekuma North. And I remember the last question that Roxanne asked was whether the EC was going to do fresh elections or so, or rerun something. And Boss Masari, one of the deputy chairs, indicated that there's not going to be any rerun. It was committee of the whole in Parliament. It was clear. So what has changed? What has changed? Is it the fact that because the chairman of the NDC, Esedun Ketia, has said several times that the chairperson and the deputies of the Electoral Commission are going to be removed? Are they putting the fear of God in them? Is the reason why they are, doing a U-turn on something they themselves have said was not going to happen? It is worrying and it's troubling. We shouldn't be seen to be subjecting our independent state bodies in this manner. What is going on is untidy. It is so wrong. We don't have to do that. We cannot manipulate the EC. the GC should be bold, as I said earlier on. They shouldn't allow the NDC to toss them around. Because you see, the GC should be very careful, because if the NDC is able to push you and to toss you around to do something that they want, and you yield, then they again are going to question your integrity and your strength, your firmness.
But is that possible?
But from what is happening, why should Boss Masari, my very good friend, my colleague at the University of Ghana, say to Parliament that there was not going to be any certain, then all of a sudden they are doing something different? You know,
the reason why I'm asking this question, because you've always believed in the independence of the Electoral Commission.
That's what I'm saying.
And you have consistently been talking about their independence. Nobody can influence the Electoral Commission.
That's what I'm saying. That is that what is happening? Because we don't want that to happen.
Okay.
And I said earlier on that I wouldn't sit here to bastardize them. But the point I'm making is that per the comments from Sedun Katia, General Mosquito, and others, is that the reason why the Electoral Commission is doing a detour? That is why I'm asking all these things, because for me, I will always credit them with good faith. But we must also be able to ask questions that clutter our minds, questions that need further elucidation of what is happening, because it is not right. We don't have to do that. Okay, this democracy. The NDC has 183 seats plus 4 independent, 187. Okay, we have 88. One is gone, 87. You know what I mean? And what happened at Abekumanov? I'm telling you that a free year, our candidate won the election fair and square. That's it. That is why the NDC, sometime in January 25 or so, went there to vandalize the collection process. You remember? You know what I mean? The NDC knows that they didn't win that seat. They know within them, they know, but they are trying to use, certain means to put the.
But given the kind of optimism you have about winning the seat, then you shouldn't have a problem with this rerun.
Oh, I don't think we have a problem. But when we go for the rerun,
yes,
I'm sure maybe at the point we are going to go. But I'm saying that we are not scared contesting in the election, but we are questioning fairness in this whole thing.
Okay,
because I was in Parliament when that day.
Was Manasari?
No, the EC chair,
Jean Mensah.
She couldn't appear before Parliament, but it was Boss Masari who came there.
Yeah.
And he gave us indication. I think at the beginning, we even talking about 3 police stations are standing.
Yes.
All of a sudden, 19. And according to
and at the time, it was 3 polling stations coalition. They just wanted to collate the results from those 3 polling stations. That they only needed police protection.
That's it.
Yeah.
So now you needed to collect results from 3. And you needed police protection.
That's what he said.
The minority even marched and sent a petition to the IGP. I was part of those who marched and submitted that petition to the IGP. That the EC is saying that they needed you to come and offer them protection to do the collation for these 3. Then all of a sudden, we ran in 19 polling stations.
But tell me this, because you're part of those.
Wait.
Sorry, before you go ahead.
Yeah.
Before you, as a member of the protesters who went, I think it was on June 4th, isn't it? I believe so.
I think about a month or 6 weeks ago.
But it was
June 4th. Yeah, I think it was June
4th. Yeah. And you did a strategy to coincide with the June 4th celebration of the NDC. Now, when you went to that protest, what did the IG? Because I don't think the IG himself. I think it was his rep, isn't it?
Yes.
What assurance did they give?
We delivered the petition, and they assured us that they will act on it. But nothing has happened. But you see,
that's fine.
The police couldn't provide police protection just for the collation of results from 3 polling stations. So if the police now ready to provide the same protection for the rerun of the 19th session. This is completely unreasonable. It doesn't make sense. It marks of some form of hypocrisy. So the police, Mr. RGP, you see, this country is just, at times, you need to restrain yourself because of the respect some of us have for this country and leadership. You are careful and measured the words you use. I'm restraining myself because this is unthinkable. You couldn't offer us protection to run 3 polling stations, but now you can marshal the same police service persons to do 19. How? Who do you say this to? Who do you? You know what I mean? That is why I had issues with the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. So many issues. And I said that in principle, I support prayer, and I believe in that. When I was at the University of Cape Coast, in my church, I was prayer coordinator for Deeper Life Bible Church.
Oh, okay.
I joined the prayer tower when I went to university in the year 1997.
Okay.
I've been part of it, and I was privileged to be the coordinator when I was in my final year. I believe in that, and I know what prayer has done for me.
Okay.
But you see, when you do things wrong, you can't get the right results.
Right.
You earmark 1st July as a day of national prayer and thanksgiving.
Yes.
1st July. But you shifted that day. You made 4th July a holiday. But you are observing the activity on July 1, isn't it?
Yes.
My question was that why didn't you even shift the observance of that activity on the day you earmarked for the holiday?
Yes.
Because then it makes sense.
Yes.
We wasted the 1st. Then the 4th was made a holiday. Doesn't make sense. It doesn't.
I get the point you're making.
It doesn't make sense one bit. So
but the explanation I had, in fact, it was something that came up on the day we had. Sorry, let me. I just need to give you this additional information. So it was an issue we raised on this platform. We thought it was a legitimate question, because it defeats the purpose for shifting the holiday to Friday. But I got some calls after the program. The explanation was that apparently the thing had been, the how do you call it, the day had been planned a long time ago. Okay. All kinds of things were taken into consideration, even including the president's itinerary and so on and so forth. So there was some difficulty in cancelling it. But going forward, what you are suggesting is what is going to be. Yes,
okay. Then number 2. I'm bringing this matter up because of the issues you've raised regarding a big man of.
Yes.
National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving. What was the object? To achieve what? To pray for what? Is it to pray for God to do what?
For God's little mercies that He has shown on us.
Mercies.
Yes.
Thanking God for His blessings, isn't it? Is that what it was meant to be? So my question then
this 4th Republic has been the most lasting.
Yeah, so we thank God about that, right?
Yes.
Okay. I don't have any much issues about that. But my question is, those youth who were sacked by President John Mahama and his administration, who are now jobless, who are crying, who are going through emotional difficulties, psychological torture. I know somebody who nearly got GRE.
Are you done talking about the...
No, I'm linking it. I'm linking it.
All right.
I'm linking it.
Okay.
GRE, okay? Spent so much money from Kumasi to Accra, right? Did medical examination and all that. Then NDC comes to power. He said, "No, we are not taking you." That person, can that person have the right frame of mind to pray?
Okay.
So for me, I'm talking about the symbolism and the substance.
Right.
What is being done to the Chief Justice? Okay, the ordeal she is going through, and you are going to thank God for her. If the theme had been repentance, okay, restitution, and renewal, then I will be for it. then you are going to repent for wrongs that have been done. The wrongful dismissals, you repent about them. Hounding the Chief Justice, you repent about them, okay? And also the plan to get rid of the EC officials, you repent about that. Then you do restitution. Those who have been sacked, you bring them back. Then we go for renewal. That is the prayer God is going to answer. My point is that what is going on in this country is completely taking us back. Okay. And I expect the clergy, senior most clergy were there. Archbishop Duncan Williams, he was there. Cardinal Apia Texan, he was there. Big pastors were there. At times, they should be able to speak to power in terms of president that these are not right. These are not right. We don't have to go that tangent. If we go that tangent, we are not going to experience the blessings of God. God is not going to listen to our prayers. He's not going to answer our prayers. And the same thing applies to Abdulkumanov. What is happening? You see unfairness. You see injustice. You see an attempt to cow the Electoral Commission. Because if you are issuing threats, the national chairman of the NDC has put on record that Jane Mensah, Boss Masari, Samuel Tete will be sacked. And the next day, they come back and say something against what they said previously. If you're a rational human being and rational thinker, you have genuine fear, genuine concern, and you are likely going to link those comments and pronouncements to what is, going on at Abdulkumanov and all that. For me, that is why I'm worried.
But Prof, Asivin Ketia didn't say he's going to sack them.
What did he say?
He said he thinks that they should go.
Oh my goodness.
Because if he says he's going to sack them, it's not the same as he thinks they should
go. Let
go.
me bring you to what you are saying.
Okay.
He thinks that they should be sacked.
Yes.
What is the basis?
He thinks that they should go.
He thinks that they should go. They
yes.
should go where? If they go, have they not been sacked?
No.
They should go where?
They can decide to resign. They've gone. They've not been sacked.
So
if they decide,
what about the resignation?
Okay.
It's a threat.
Maybe or maybe
it's
not.
It's a threat. You see, they are giving us the platform to say the thing that we are saying. But Moro and you and I, and probably Hamza,
yes,
we should come to the understanding that our institutions are what we have. The politicians and the other actors will come and they go. They will leave the scene. Humans don't endure forever. Humans, like we're discussing the passing of our brother, Yakumi. Human beings endure for a while. You see, life is short. But institutions endure forever until this world comes to an end. Institutions will forever be. But that should be our focus. We should make them stronger, more credible, of integrity. But the fear, now a time will come that no matter how competent you are, no matter how knowledgeable you are, when you are called upon to serve your country in a certain position, you decline. Because you are convinced that tomorrow, a different administration, a different pharaoh will come, and the pharaoh will say that I didn't know you, and you'll be terminated. And when that happens, if you're not careful, your whole world will come to a close.
Okay.
And such persons, when they go down on their knees and they sigh, and they murmur, and they recount the ordeals that they go through, if care is not taken, you don't know what is going to go on within their minds and the effect on our society.
Okay.
So, Abdulkumanov, the new patriotic party, we are not scared of any contest. But what we are saying is that what is happening is unfair.
Okay.
It is unjust, and that the EC should be very careful, because if they want to pander to the NDC, which I don't think might be the case, then they should be bold and tell the NDC that we are going to stand by what we had said earlier on. And Mr. IGP, so are you looking in the eyes of Ghanaians and going to provide security for the 19 beyond the police stations? If you do that, then it means that, Mr. IGP, you are not being fair to the people of Ghana. It means that you are a bit biased. Yes, with all due respect.
Okay.
With all due respect. We will walk to your office and send you a petition. I don't even know whether you even added on that.
Okay.
And you couldn't do it for 3, you're going to do it for 19.
Okay.
You. Are you convinced about that?
About which one?
He couldn't do 3, but he's prepared to do the 19.
Well, I don't
The EC was saying that we wanted just protection. Okay. We wanted your protection. Right. Let your men and women be there. Okay. We needed your protection and support. And we would do the needful. We would do the job. Okay. This man didn't act. He didn't act.
So the man who was the man who spearheaded the organization of the National Day for Thanksgiving and Prayers. He says I should say hello to you.
Yeah, all the names.
That's Elvis Efriankra.
Oh, my very good friend.
He's a very good friend.
Oh yeah, Elvis and I, you know what I mean?
You go way back.
Yeah, Elvis. I mean, he's a senior politician. Yeah. I know him. Elvis.
He says I should tell you, Ayiko. I don't know what he means by I should say Ayiko.
Tell him I say yeah.
But he adds a message. Initially he said Ayiko, but now he's added a message. Yes. So he says, please tell Prof. The theme for the National Day of Prayer and Thanksgiving was reflect.
Reflect.
Yes, and I'm happy that you have a pen here.
Reflect.
Reset.
Reset.
And renew.
Renew.
For national prosperity.
National prosperity.
Yes, that's the theme for the event. Now, he goes ahead to say, the theme speaks for itself. Okay. Now, he continues. Every country has its own peculiar history, culture, and background. We have to be deliberate and intentional about consolidating our strong spots. He continues, a country's development cannot only be determined by fiscal and monetary policies, but by the collective psyche of its people. It wasn't just a day for prayer. It was a day to reflect, reset, and renew our commitment to our country and its development. And also to thank God for the peace we have been experiencing over the years in the midst of a very turbulent sub-region. I guess that responds to
reflect
what
about
you said.
What? Reflect about what?
He's explaining that message.
Reflect about, and I'm also saying that
reflect about how far we've come, what we've gotten right, what we could have done better.
I'm also saying that that reflection should as well include repentance. Repentance.
From what?
From young people who got jobs legitimately, and to no fault of theirs, all the expenditure, all the cost they incurred. Now you want power, then you sack them.
Okay.
So also, your reflection should include repentance for the wrong you've done them, because that is wrong on that person's. What sin did they commit for them to be sacked? And I did answer from Elvis.
Okay.
So reflecting about wrongs we've done. Okay. Maybe we are reflecting over how our development has slowed. Okay. Things we couldn't do right.
Okay.
How we can make those things better. And I'm saying that it should also include wrongs we've done. To such youth, such persons, what is being meted out to the Chief Justice and all that, Ablekuma, North and all that, we need to also think about them, because you see, God listens and answers prayers of the righteous man. It's not every prayer and every knows. His brother is Kranchankra. Okay, one of the renowned men of God in this country.
When you say brother, saying same family?
That's what I know, unless I'm wrong.
I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah. And
you mean Elvis's brother,
yeah,
as in blood brother?
That's what I know.
Kranchankra.
Yes, I mean.
But that's what you heard. You don't know it for a fact.
Yeah, I'm saying that's what I've heard. So, yeah.
Okay. All right.
But at least there's a linkage between him and one sports journalist.
Okay. That's what Yao was his brother.
Yeah. But
the former BBC
sports
journalist. Okay.
So I'm saying that.
Right. So let's do this quickly. We need to take a short break. I beg you. We have to sail.
I'm very serious, so you might as well.
Yes.
MGL Logistics and Supply is your trusted partner, providing seamless solutions for all your procurement needs. From sourcing products to managing imports and exports, we ensure smooth and efficient transactions every step of the way. Whether you require goods from across the globe or need assistance in exporting your products to international markets, we got you covered. General trading is at the heart of our expertise. We specialize in a wide range of products, catering to various industries and markets. As a trusted dealership in building materials, we provide high-quality products that meet the demands of our construction projects. Additionally, we act as manufacturers' representatives, connecting producers with distributors. Our expertise in logistics is the backbone of our operations. We plan and execute transportation and delivery of goods, ensuring they reach their destination on time and in optimal condition. MGO Logistics and Supply, guaranteed satisfaction.
Wabedum tamaso. Hey, J. Watch it, na learning. Missy, watch and learn. Makwaya besisia. Abozege. Akache say no ya konate and the more drink woman. Hey. But I didn't mean. Oh, sorry. She knew her old days. Hey, Dabio, baby wom. Ready? Hey, baby wom. Aji, I'll cause some discomfort. Sorry, well, uncle, where would the dad? Why your funeral? At your phone for Aerofield Trading. Sorry, it killed them all.
No mum share nanda danya was mosquito call esudu womunumu. Na say spray with them musa. Chaisima edronum ansana ko dynamo.
And Kratoi FDA Ajatum.
In my line of work, a confident smile is everything. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste keeps me on top of my game and ensures my smile is always radiant and bright.
With the tiring nature of my job, we spend several hours under the scorching sun. To keep our teeth white and our breath fresh all the time, we use none other than Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. You're on a Kessie and in a kit one.
Samayo Kendini, a who be here, Semetra Sapapadia to a mammy manful. Kel Charcoal's natural ingredients, and a bomb is several buying, a man swing, Nesansu Mama Hotel so a will bedroom.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste. Choose Kel Charcoal Toothpaste for anti-cavity, whiter teeth, and fresher breath all day. Available in 80 gram and 150 gram. Grab yours today.
Kel, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Buy affordable service plots and lands from estate masters. Currently selling our next cottage, located at the newly proposed airport city, with a starting price of 25,000 Ghana cedis. We also have Palm Hills, located at Panfukro in the Gomwa East District, also with a starting price of 15,000 Ghana cedis. Available also is Coastal Park in Lakleku, which is a 15 minutes drive from the Ningo Senior High School, having a starting price of 55,000 Ghana cedis. You will receive a free site plan with indenture once you successfully purchase a land from us. For any enquiries, contact the numbers provided. Estate Masters, your most preferred estate partner.
So you're live on Good Morning Ghana on Metro Television. I have Hamza Suheni here, who is a member of the NDC's communications team and also a private legal practitioner, and also Kingsley Nyako, professor, is also here. He's MP for the Kwadaso constituency. We're talking about Blekuma North and matters arising. So Elsie Friankra is back again. He says that the first prayer topic was repentance and led by Reverend Dr. Stephen Wengam. But my senior brother's logic, so per your logic, then we may probably have to stop all the investigations and audits and trials that are ongoing because of repentance. It comes with a question mark. Anyway, so let me go to Hamza
Let me
now.
conclude. Let me conclude by saying
please
that
conclude. Yes.
Trials, investigations must be done.
Okay.
Anybody who has wronged in society must face the full rigors of the law.
Right.
But we are saying that when these trials and investigations are done fairly, justly, nobody is going to blame anybody.
Okay.
So that's my response to him. We are not saying that don't persecute anybody, but don't persecute them.
All right.
Follow due process, and when the person is found wanting, then nobody is going to cry.
That's fine. All right. How's that?
Moro,
brother.
I think I finished my last submission somewhere around 8:40.
And you had any issues?
No, but I have to flag that out because this is not the first time I'm raising this concern with you.
We sincerely
I finished my last submission at 8:40.
It's my fault.
And this is 9:40.
He admits that he went
my fault. It's my fault. I took some of the time. It's my fault.
Your time.
Forgive me and let's move on. So don't blame him, blame me.
I know why I'm blaming him.
Blame me. Right?
I should have stopped you.
Anyway, I think that I have listened carefully to Prof. And for me, I do not think that I disagree with some of the concerns that he has raised, especially when it comes to the performance of the work of the Electoral Commission and its officers. Why do I say so? As a political party from day one, in opposition, we were very consistent that the people Nanado appointed after unethically removing Charlotte Osei from office were nothing but a bunch of incompetent handlers of our electoral process. And that these were appointments influenced largely by partisan considerations and lacked the fundamental engagement process that ought to have preceded their appointment. We're clear. Rightly after that, the Electoral Commission went to organize the 2020 general elections. It was chaotic. Remember that even the Honorable Haruna Idris, now Education Minister, had cause to lead some members of the National Democratic Congress side of the bench of Parliament to the EC offices to demand answers because of the EC's incompetent handling of the declaration of parliamentary resource. That created a semblance of a tie in that August House. You remember that incident?
Yep.
Where the minority leader then, the Honorable Haruna Idrisu, had to lead our MPs to the EC office. Of course, he was prevented entry. So this is not the first time we are dealing with issues of incompetence in monumental proportions when it comes to the Electoral Commission's failure to adequately declare parliamentary results to reflect the mandate of the Ghanaian people. When we raised these red flags, where were they? as a political party then. What did they do? What did they say? They even had the audacity to send military men into parliament to carry out their desires because of the incompetence. Because see, you cannot distance what happened in parliament with the military's presence from the incompetent effects of the decisions of this current electoral commission. That was why this nation nearly flipped. More. What did the NPP say then? We never experienced something like that until these guys were appointed. As if that was not enough. There were fundamental computational errors, even in the declaration of the presidential results. Again, these guys. Fast forward to 2024 general elections. The NDC was consistent in demanding an audit of the voters' register. Many of the proposals we suggested in terms of how to conduct the 2024 general elections were thrown on our faces. The NPP celebrated these intermittent victories of the Electoral Commission, siding with their side of the points. What did they think they were doing? So it didn't occur to them then that they were emboldening the incompetence of the Electoral Commission. It didn't occur to them. And that they were emboldening the perception of influence from the executive. What has the NEC done now that they didn't do in the past when Nana was president? Tell me. Is it the first time we are having issues with declaration of parliamentary results since this EC came into office? So why are we running away from the real facts?
Yeah.
And I can assure you, as a political party, Moro, we are not celebrating the current decision of the Electoral Commission to conduct elections in 19 out of the polling stations that we have in Ablekuma North. We are not. Because from day one, we were convinced that the Electoral Commission's incompetence was being handled in such a way that could affect the chances of the NDC's parliamentary candidate, and we needed to protect it. That has been our position.
Yeah.
So the fact that they said 3 to 19 is neither here nor there, because it is, we demanded simply from the Electoral Commission to account to us and to convince us that indeed 3 are outstanding. Right. They have not been able to. And both of us agree as a political party that the contention has to do with 19 polling stations.
Right.
Initially, it was in excess of 30, about 36 polling stations.
37 actually.
37 polling stations.
Polling stations, yeah.
As political parties, we both agreed and reached consensus that, look, we've been able to resolve a section of them.
Yeah.
So what is now outstanding is 19.
Yeah.
The EC hasn't been helpful in the whole process. So if you cannot authenticate the pink sheets that the NDC is holding, and you cannot authenticate the pink sheets that the MPP seem to be also holding on to, what sure way to go?
Right.
Probably to rely on that of the EC's own pink sheets. But interestingly, they don't seem to have pink sheets.
Right.
So you cannot do anything except to go for re-election in these 19 polling stations. But Moro, that is why I'm saying that I agree with him. That what the EC is doing must constitute a source of worry to every person. Just like we raised concerns in the last election about the electoral register, and they were thrown away, and we still proceeded to contest in that election, the NDC, regardless of how we feel about the EC's handling of Ablekuma North, we are a party that respects decisions and orders and we know where to challenge it, we will still go and participate in that election processes of the 19 polling stations. Because we did not boycott
Right.
the 2024 general elections, regardless of our concerns. We participated. We will go and participate again. But it is not in any way an endorsement of the EC's actions or incompetent actions. We, as a political party, have been consistent. We have issues with this current EC. It is refreshing that they are beginning to join us today. You think, and you are boldly saying it, that the utterances of our national chairman could be the reason why the EC is taking a U-turn, and you are happy saying that, Honorable. How can you be excited? When Frank Arnold-Domprey had issues with his constituency, and Nanado was still sitting president, and he went on national television to call on His Excellency President Nanado not to hand over power to the new administration because his issues were not resolved.
Yeah.
Did that constitute a threat to electoral stability and the Electoral Commission? And subsequently, didn't the Electoral Commission proceed to declare in favor of Arnold-Domprey? So were they intimidated by the likes of Arnold-Domprey to make that declaration? And if they were, what did you say? And if truly that this Electoral Commission is so weak to the extent that they can be influenced by the mere expression of views or opinion of our national chairman, then they have no basis sitting in that office as managers of our electoral process in this country. And so you should join us in demanding that organization is reset for the safety of our democracy. So I don't disagree with you. If truly that the chairman's utterances constitute enough basis for them to make a U-turn, then it is enough justification for us to get them out. Because it's an indirect confession that you, under you guys, you had such control. And so they were intimidated by you. And they were doing your bidding. So we don't believe this Electoral Commission. We don't believe it today. We will not believe it tomorrow. We believe that this is the most incompetent Electoral Commission ever. An Electoral Commission that conducted elections in 2020, and some citizens for 4 good years did not have access to representation in Parliament. Remember the Saul case? And you think that that is a mark of competence? This is something we should encourage and protect? An Electoral Commission, since they were given the authority to man our electoral process, when have we ever had an election since 2020 without issues about parliamentary results declaration?
Yeah.
In Parliament, you guys fought over declaration of parliamentary seats in 2020. Did that happen in 2016? Did we experience that in 2012? Before these guys were given the mandate to man our electoral process? So what more evidence do you need to come to the realization that these guys constitute a danger to electoral stability in this country? And there's the need for us to actually get them out for the sake of all of us. It is important. So you can understand their confusion, Moro. They know that these guys are not up to task. But they also cannot be seen to be taking a sharp U-turn in accusing them of being incompetent. So they said, if it is this, if they are making statements based on conditions, if so, because they know that it is difficult to make a U-turn, but within them, they know that these guys have demonstrated legendary incompetence when it comes to management of our electoral process. And there is the need for us to reset it. Moro, you see, and that is why I was a bit confused. One prof decided to jump into the arena of the national thanks and giving, national prayer and thanksgiving, in an effort to confuse the matters. Like I have indicated to you about the posture of this Electoral Commission and their mark of incompetence. what more can be called for except what the National Prayer and Thanksgiving Day stood for? Reflect, reset, and rebuild. Because the experiences we have had over the last 8 years, over the last 4 years, especially with these guys, should push us to a point where we need to rethink about our electoral process. And like Honorable Elvis Afriyie indicated, it was not just a prayer session. It was an opportunity to reflect. And the reflection includes how our electoral management system has been handled over the last 4 years. So if you were not reflecting, we were reflecting. On that same platform, you had pastors that you wanted to indirectly attack, making meaningful contributions to public discourse. Didn't you hear the revered Archbishop Duncan Williams call on His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama to lead a charge of national development where all political parties would have an opportunity to contribute meaningfully to national development? And by that call, ignited a discussion as to how we could, together in the collective, have a blueprint of national development, irrespective of our partisan affiliation. Whenever there is a change in parliament of power, we would also remain committed to that blueprint. And I am convinced that these suggestions informed President Mahama's call when he was launching the 24-hour economic policy. To invite all of us to rise beyond the MPP and NDC rivalries and adopt the document as a national blueprint towards economic transformation and sustainability.
All right.
So I can understand the confusion in which the MPP finds itself. All
right.
I can. And Prof, it can be forgiven. But you still have an opportunity to demonstrate to the good people of this country that for once you can put your partisan interests aside and uphold our collective objective or our interests by demanding that for the sake of our democracy that this electoral commission be reset, because their actions, you are beginning to feel the impact of their actions, and this is just less than 6 months in opposition. You can begin to imagine what the NDC endured in the last 4 years. And so it is not good for any of us.
They still won massively.
We also, it doesn't matter, but the fact that we won does not mean that this current electoral commission does not constitute a danger to our democracy.
Danger.
Yeah, they constitute a danger to our democracy. That is why many of you are up in arms today, questioning the what's the name?
What you are saying,
wait, but you are now questioning their independence.
The intimidation from you is
in that sense, so we are questioning if they can be intimidated. In the past, you did not accuse the National Democratic Congress of intimidating Dr. Afarijan. Neither did we accuse you as a political party when you eventually won power under President Kufuor of intimidating Dr. Afarijan. Did we? So why all of a sudden you are raising issues of intimidation? That tells you
so
that kind of canker you entrusted by giving us, you entrusted onto us by giving us this electoral commission.
So
it is still a mark of your leadership. Another incompetent decision of Nana Addo Dankwa.
We'll have to end it here. Thanks, Hamza Suhini, for joining us. He's a private legal practitioner, member of the NDC's communication. And also Professor Kingston Nyako, thanks for joining us. MP4.
Smart, bold, unapologetic. This is Annie Ampafo. The voice of reason, a force of media. She's the one Ghana turns to every Monday morning for the headlines that matter, and the conversations that shape all of us.
And on the basis of Article 34, that's the Directive Principles of State Policy, we meet here again this morning, and you're welcome to Good Morning Ghana.
When the afternoon rolls in, she's back, cutting through the noise, asking the tough questions, and bringing clarity to the issues that matter.
A committee to investigate containers carrying ECG cables that are meant for Ghanaians or meant to provide light for the good people of Ghana.
In the morning, in the afternoon, Annie Ampofo isn't just reporting the news, she's shaping the conversations that shape all of us. Annie Ampofo, smart, fearless, unmatched, only on Metro TV.
Everything in the world revolves around science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Enough of classroom memorization. Science must be practical. That is why the Quiz Talk is bringing Ghana's first ever national STEM quiz. This program will spark the students' interest in STEM. Science, of course, is the mother of all creation. Starting from creation itself, from the plants to the animals, everything you see is about careers drive modern economies. From engineering and medicine to software development and space exploration.
Engineering combines both science and technology to solve various problems around our society. For example, the roads we use, the cars we drive, and the airplanes we use to transport ourselves from one country to the other. What can you do to solve human problems? Come, join us on Quiz Talk, coming soon.
So come to Quiz Talk and then demonstrate your skills and help us with the STEM education.
Fifra ye free nyina ye de obedientia. De ya fugia ne aduane. Saasro pintin bi aseda ome. De ye di koye mu ne de awie nyina na makuafo modem mo so. Won fifre so ne nya bidio. Nanso bate aseman Ghana mu a. Ekuafo akoya abo pupu obo wasio na so da su kache. Wona sam fifre mama mu nyina nya bidie. Nanso mpuntudwo mu aka akiri pa. Ekwan ben ne befa so ama ekuafo fifre ho abanfa so de. Aban hyehye ne dwumadi ahodo ode bre ekuafo no bo wote ase. Feed Ghana ye den. Na nkokọ ketenkete so mfa so ama ekuafo so ye den. Weinti na hyehye dwumadi srunkwa ya to ne ekuafo mo. Ye de bre original TV and Metro TV so. Dwumadi beba akwanya ama mpanyimfo anim de ewa ba fukaye mu. Akire wadwen. Ye je ekuafo ha no amane akogye mu aye e de free aba mu mpanyimfo ho. Enimi ni ehia ekuafo nyonko samo honto eda joada enwumre no nso nkosi ne no nwotwe e original TV so. Saanso na da yawada enwumre no nwotwe kosi no nkono e Metro TV so. Ekuafo mo Ghana ekuafo abomode na yempene wo.
Ekuafomo is sponsored by ACAP Compost. ACAP Compost comes in 3 varieties: ACAP Compost X, ACAP Compost Plus.